Hey, hashtag SpeakEasy Podcast listeners. I am super excited about this episode. Why? Because can I tell you, over the years, communication has been a process for me. I am such the introvert, and so I would much rather just go into my bubble, but I've learned over the years, especially in entrepreneurship, that I had to work on my communication skills. I had to work on being able to network and some of these other things. And so that's part of the reason why I'm excited about this guest for today. Another is that we've met virtually and have known each other virtually for some time now. I think maybe at least a year now. And she is awesome. Like, I get to hear her speak and share some great nuggets on the Clubhouse platform. And so I'm excited to introduce Christie. Hello, Christie. How are you?
Hey, Altovise. Finally, good to see you. We're mostly on Clubhouse. We only hear each other, but it's so nice to actually speak and see each other. So that's great.
I am excited. And she is a fellow podcaster as well. Woo, 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 woo. So, Christie, let the studio audience know a little bit about yourself, and then we'll dive into today's topic.
Okay, awesome. Well, I like what you said about being an introvert, because I used to, have not even stage fright. I had stage fright times 1,000. That's where my journey began. I had something called glossophobia, where I couldn't look anyone in the eye. I couldn't answer a phone call. I couldn't shake anyone's hand. And as you know, that does not go very well in the corporate world. So I had to develop this skill called public speaking, okay? And that's why they call me the communication and connection expert, because I've spent almost 19 years studying this craft, because I know how powerful it can be for your life, for your career, and pretty much every area.
That part. And so I am right there with you. When it came to getting on stage, I was like, what was I thinking? Who told me this would be a good idea? And so for those of you who are in the studio audience who are listening and saying, you know what, I'm ready to get on stage, but I'm nervous. I'm ready to tell my story, but I don't know how the words are going to sound when they come out of my mouth. This is definitely going to be the episode for you. So with that being said, Christie, what would you say was the first thing that you had to work on in order for you to kind of at least even get comfortable with the idea of speaking and being on stages?
Wow. I guess the first thing that I did was I joined Toastmasters International. I've been a member for almost 19 years, and I knew that it was I needed help. I knew there was an organization a friend of mine told me about that would help someone like me to gain these public speaking skills and tactics that I absolutely needed. And I remember that first day of going to the group distinctly. I got off work at about 5 o'clock and the meeting started around 7. So I thought, I'll just, drive on over there, bring my lunch and sit in my car. I lived in California at the time, beautiful weather. Let me tell you, that day, I sat in the car for 2 hours, screaming, crying, hyperventilating, calling my mother. Because I was terrified to walk in the door, because I knew they were going to ask me to speak. And I did. I gained enough courage to actually drag myself in to do that. But all I could do was say, "Hi, my name is Christie," and sit down. And so what I found was that the first thing that I needed to work on was my mindset. Okay. At that time, I was a perfectionist. Everything had to be perfect, and I wasn't perfect in this area at all. And all this negative thinking. Not only was I saying all these things to myself, I'm not good enough. Oh, I don't compare to that person, or they might judge me, or they may criticize me, or they make fun of me, or what if I forget this? I had other people in my company were laughing at me because I couldn't speak, and at school because I couldn't speak. And so all of this carried on for many years. And that's the first thing that I had to work on, is my mindset. And that's one thing that I tell a lot of my clients too, as well, is work on your mindset. What are the things that you're saying to yourself? How are you speaking to yourself? Be kind and gentle to yourself, because it's a process. You can't compare yourself to somebody who's been doing it 10 years, right? You're just starting, and we all start somewhere. And so be kind and learn the process. So that would be it for sure.
That's important too, because I know that part of the thing that kind of motivates us is the same thing that scares us. And it's, we see other speakers on stage and we see their confidence. We see the boldness that they have when they speak about their situation or about the information they're sharing. And we're like, oh my goodness, we want to do that. But it also becomes the same thing that we're scared of, because we're like, oh my goodness, can I do that? So I am right there with you. I know for me, I thought about doing Toastmasters and I signed up and did not make it. I did
You
not
never made it to
go.
Toastmasters? Oh my gosh.
Christie, I was so nervous. I
How is
never
that possible?
And for me, the catalyst for me was live streaming.
Okay.
And so I would go and do live streaming, and it was on the Periscope platform, which is of course no longer available, but it was the idea that I could talk, and although people could comment, they weren't in the same room with me. And so I don't know why, but that gave me such like an ease to the nerves.
You can hide. You can hide behind
so
that. I understand.
Yeah, that was it for me. But it was, but what the one thing that was really valuable that comes with being in Toastmasters as well was community.
Yes.
Was community. I know that the Toastmasters experience is one where people are rallying around you and supporting you no matter what part of the process you're on. So that was part of, you know, what I was able to receive while I was on Periscope, because I had that virtual community that was coming in and sharing out the broadcast and in the comments, asking questions and being a part of the conversation. So that definitely, you know, made a big difference. Now, from the time that you started until now, what is one experience that you can say that when you look at that experience, you're like, it was all worth it for that?
I would say the jump that I made about 3 years ago to push myself outside of just Toastmasters and speaking and mentoring people in Toastmasters. I did that for over, you know, at that time, like 15 years. I was mentoring, I was encouraging. And it's, like you said, it's a very supportive group. And I found like a second family within my Toastmasters organizations that I've been a part of, one in California and one in here in the Woodlands area. And they are like family, you know, they support me in everything I do. But when I made the jump, I coached one of the members on being able to speak with more authority and engage an audience. He was very monotone. You may know him, but he's very monotone in his voice. And he had aspirations and desires to be a best-selling author and a speaker. And now he's a coach. He does retreats. He makes tons of money, all by learning his skill. And I said, wow, you know, I helped him with this and he just blew up really quick. And for 15 years, I've been pretty much stagnant in my speaking skills, you know, being a part of the group, being leader of the group, helping so many people that didn't really step outside my own comfort zone. And that was when I found more stages to speak on in front of large audiences. And that's when the transformation for me began. That was the biggest challenge, because those people I didn't know, they weren't my friends and family. They didn't support me like Toastmasters did, but I mean, they did, but it's the unknown, right? It's the unknown. And I know this last year, I took it a bit further and started traveling a lot. Even I went to Mexico to get my international speaking certificate and spoke to a group there as well. So just challenging myself has really made a huge, huge change in my life from where I first began.
Oh, that's so valuable, because oftentimes, yeah, when we see a change in somebody else because we said yes, and it's like, whoo, all right, that makes you want to keep saying yes. It makes you want to go ahead and keep pushing through. So I thank you for pushing through, because sure enough, there are so many people that get much, much value from you. Every time I hear you speak, I get value. So
thank you. Same here as always. And you know, I like what you said about the corporate world, and we can't stay introverted forever. We can't. I love being by myself talking to this little green dot. I can talk to this green dot by myself all day long and just be happy. COVID is a blessing in disguise for me, because I can be at home.
True indeed.
I have to go anywhere to do anything, and I can be on this little computer and speak to my phone or computer and just be absolutely just competent, just happy. But that's the introverted side of me. But on the other side, I know that the skills that you gain through not only public speaking, but being able to connect with other people is really what's going to allow your business, your career to really explode, because you can't keep it inside. You have to gain that confidence in your ability. You have to be able to speak clearly and precisely, and get your point across, your message across in a direct way that's also very welcoming and inviting.
Guys,
that's when the results start and success starts to happen.
Exactly. Guys, this episode went by so quickly. Oh my goodness. I know that it was one that could definitely inspire you. So if you missed any pieces of that, by all means, hit that pause button and the rewind button, go back, listen to it again, share it out, because these are the nuggets and the types of discussions that are going to inspire you to keep going. Because that's the biggest piece, right? Is that we can get started, but it's not just getting started that we want to do. We want to make sure that we keep going until we get to the end result and we go ahead and we cross that finish line. With that being said, Christie, can you let the studio audience know where they can get in contact with you and where they can find you at online?
Absolutely. Just go to my website. My website is www.beseenbeloved.com.
Awesome. Looking forward to hearing you even more on Clubhouse on our Thursday rooms. Guys, you can definitely, if you haven't done so already, check out my Instagram at Altovise Unmuted, and you'll always see the flyer for the Thursday rooms, that part right there. We have some great conversations coming up this year, and it's for every entrepreneur, no matter what level you're at, no matter if you're just getting started, or even if you haven't gotten started yet. It's a safe space for you to be able to come in, ask questions, and get some real insight from entrepreneurs who have been doing this for 5, 10, some 20 years, okay? They are bringing you all of the information right there in that room. So this has been a great episode. Again, let me know how this episode resonated with you by leaving us a review. Oh my goodness, I can't talk today. By leaving us a review on your favorite podcasting platform. You can do so. Give us our stars. We love stars, guys. And then also make sure that you reach out over on Instagram and let me know your takeaways and your nuggets. With that being said, you guys, this is another episode from your host, Altovise Pelzer. And until next time, don't forget to press it out. See ya.